something goes wrong. Last time it wasn't even showing the game, it was just showing like the menu screen forever and ever. I don't know why. See, got to miss all my introductions and ramblings. So I need to listen to this song while I smoke. It's like ash now. Anyway, the important part is that this is a Touhou Fan Game. What you see right here is the itch.io page. There's a link in the description. Now, I'm going to attempt to start a new game again. I'm just gonna jump right into this. I don't got time for formalities. I actually have all the time in the world, but... oh, okay, I'll go on the room again. So yeah, I don't know why Chatbox is not working with Streamlabs or OBS in either the programs or the Streamlabs site. So I don't know what's going on with that. Also, if my voice sounds like wobbly or robotic, that also has something to do with Streamlabs. It sounds fine when I monitor the audio. It sometimes sounds fine when I record the monitoring of the audio with the mic muted. I don't know what's going on with it. I contacted customer service and they couldn't help me either. So here we are. I'm using the reality app for my Vtuber. I have Android, so the facial tracking is not as good as it could be. It's currently 4:10 a.m. And I'm streaming at this time because the viewer count is 0, and I kind of like that. Lowers my anxiety. I was editing the thumbnail for this video, and just let this menu music play in the background. It's one of the most fantastic renditions of Mary the Magician I've ever heard. Eternally lost under the veil of indie black. You can go anywhere, but you will never escape your fears. Where am I? Is this a forest? It's so dark, I can barely tell what's in front of me. There is something wrong with this place. The air feels heavy and unsettling. A firefly? It's so bright. There's no way it's a normal bug. Ah! It got away. Where'd you go, firefly? There you are. Come back. Stop running away from me. Ah. Ah! I had you. Seems I finally escaped the unnatural darkness, but I'm still lost in the middle of the forest. There are more of those fireflies here. It feels like they are trying to lead me somewhere. There's something strange about all of this. But for now, I think we should follow them. Sticking with YouTube and Facebook was a good idea, I think. I feel like Twitch would have been too much pressure. Like everyone's doing this on Twitch. And everyone's doing it on YouTube too, but I feel like it's easier to get seen on Twitch if you're new. My HDMI cable failed. You'll have to give me a second. she said. Certainly. It shouldn't be that big. It's really odd. Oh, no. No, it's still that size. That's real weird. Oh wait, there it is. Now fix this thing. Perfect. Butterfly? It's not a real butterfly. The creature feasts on me, enjoys my blood, my flesh, and even my fear, as if they were the most delicious thing it has ever tasted. They are. I am. The way it enjoys each bite makes me think it has never eaten something as exquisite as me. I try to scream. I have to. But my throat is destroyed. Only muffled groans of pain barely recognizable as human come out of me. My body shakes as I am devoured by the unknown creature with a faint girl's voice. I hear its teeth tear my flesh and break my bones with every bite. Crunches and cracks. A couple of tears spring from my eyes while a trickle of blood runs down my lips. Soon my body goes cold and silent. I have fatal injuries. I can't move, cry, or breathe. However, I am still fully aware of what's happening. Even after death, I am impossibly lucid. My consciousness refuses to disappear. Instead, it curiously observes the scene from above, as if it was a butterfly floating in the night sky. Even without eyes, I can see everything perfectly. Without ears, I can hear the song of the nocturnal insects. Without breathing, I can smell the unmistakable scent of blood in the air. I am the best witness to my own end. But is it truly the end? My mind is serene and calm, unfazed by what should be a terrifying experience. If I die in a dream as vivid as this, does that mean I'm dead in reality too? I guess when the sun comes up, I'll have the answer. Okay, this is where we crashed last time. So I'm gonna make sure everything's running good. Looks like it to me. Everything's good on Facebook. And it looks like everything is good on YouTube. Yeah. Let's see if it'll... Okay. Yeah, we're all good. The one watching now, it's me. Alright. I stare at my chocolate ice cream for a moment before bringing the spoon to my mouth. It is simply delicious, and the cold going down my throat feels comforting. I close my eyes and take a deep breath, allowing the sweetness to relax my mind and make me forget all the bad thoughts. So, Mary, what did you want to tell me? Renko asks, sitting across the table. She's eating lemon pie with a coffee to go with it. Unlike me, she's not a big fan of sweet food. Although, few are up to my level when it comes to that. I suppose it would be more correct to say that her tastes are more ordinary. She looks at me with deep curiosity before bringing a piece of pie to her mouth. To be honest, I'm sure she already has an idea what I'm about to say. Renko, I had another dream yesterday, I say, looking into her eyes. Then I smile proudly, eating another bite of ice cream later. I immediately capture her attention. Renko's brown eyes stick to me like I am made of gold. She leans into me, watching closely for a couple of seconds before pulling away, leaning her back against the support of the chair and pretending it was nothing special. Another dream, huh? I guess you mean one of those dreams. Not like the one I had last night. That's right. Otherwise, I wouldn't even think of telling you. By the way, what did you dream of? I dreamed that I was trapped inside of the television, on the other side of the screen, and there were countless subatomic particles floating all around me. That's so like you, Renko. Not really. Most of my dreams aren't that interesting, and I forget them as soon as I wake up. But hey, back to your dream. What happened? She asks while looking into my purple eyes with excitement. I close my eyes and inhale. Then I stare at her for a moment, simply savoring the time before I open my lips to tell the story. I tell Renko about the dark forest, the path lit by the mysterious fireflies, the oppressive darkness that traps you like a labyrinth, and the monster with the voice of the girl. Of course, in the last part, I avoid mentioning that I was killed. Instead, I say that I ran away. The only thing that matters is that I was attacked, and the dream ended. Although for me, it was a much more vivid experience. One of many. The next morning, I woke up on my bed just like every other day. After a few lazy minutes, I forced myself to get up and ready for college. I struggled not to fall asleep on the train on the way there. Classes were completely ordinary and passed without anything worth mentioning. Then it was time for extracurricular activities. In other words, time to go to the occult club. Renko was late as usual, and after her brief, fake apology, I told her I had a craving for something sweet. This is how we ended up like this. And I have proof. Look. After saying that, I put the butterfly pen I found in the forest on the table. Renko stares at it silently, examining for several seconds as if she were a detective, looking at the most recent clue of a case. Bringing in an object from your dreams sounds like something impossible. It is impossible. But for me, it's so normal that I have already become used to it. It looks pretty old, but nothing out of the ordinary. Who do you think it belongs to? Some poor girl who was victim of the firefly yukai. Yeah, I was thinking the same. Maybe it's some kind of bait to distract the next victim, and that's why it was hanging on in plain sight. It sounds really scary if you put it like that. To think a bug could be that smart. Well, it also created a path with the fireflies, so that means it's pretty smart. The most developed sense of human beings is vision. If you want to guide your victims, humans, to you, it would be the best to use a path of light. Sounds like this yukai has evolved to hunt humans. On that subject, what kind of yukai do you think it was? The clues we have are the bamboo forest, the dense darkness, along with the feeling of being lost, the super bright fireflies, and finally, that it has the voice of a young girl. Renko looked straight at me, waiting for an answer. Yukai is the Japanese equivalent of what would be called monster in the West. But just as the European and Chinese dragon are very different, Western monsters and yukai have countless differences. To build a firefly path like you described, you need to use some kind of pheromone. So the yukai would have to be an insect, or maybe a flower. Yes, you're right. It was an insect yukai. Very big too. Bigger than me, I say with a shy smile, before eating another bite of ice cream. Well, you didn't have a chance to look around then. Maybe there was an extra large flower with teeth waiting for you. That doesn't sound better than the firefly girl. Renko jokes, but she certainly enjoys imagining it. It's like putting the pieces of the puzzle in their place. I can't deny I'm having fun too. Even if I'm talking about something I experienced firsthand, sharing it with someone allows you to see different points of view. So, basically, it's a queen firefly that preys on curious girls. I guess Mary must be the perfect food for her, huh? She says, with a small expression on her face. I stay silent for several seconds, giving her a forced smile. Don't ever call me food again. I close my eyes and sigh. Then I continue eating, pretending to be angry. But we both know it's not true. Renko laughs, and then adjusts her hat. I don't think I have ever heard of a yokai like that. She must be a unique species. Maybe it was a girl who got lost in the forest and died with resentment, and now haunts the forest looking for food. Maybe the butterfly pen even belonged to her when she was alive. Renko nods, pleased with my explanation, and takes a sip of coffee. I can't help but smile proudly and then continue eating. This time, I don't say another word until I finish the ice cream. Then I put the spoon aside and open my lips, thinking about saying something else. Suddenly, I feel anxiety pressing against my chest. I hesitate for a moment before inhaling to get the words out. I'm afraid saying it could be a mistake, but I really want to share it with someone. I want to feel it exists. It's real, and not just another bad memory buried inside myself. Renko, there is something else I wanted to tell you. Besides the dream. I say, feeling my heart turn to lead. She immediately fixes her eyes on me and blinks. Something else? Besides the experience of traveling to another world? I nod silently. The weight on my chest continues to grow until it feels so heavy it could crush me. I don't think you were going to tell me you had 2 dreams in the same night, right? No, it's not that. This happened while I was still awake. There is an awkward silence. I know Renko must be thinking about what it could be. Her eyes look at me with something other than the usual curiosity. Well, what is it? Last night, in my apartment. Just when I was getting ready to go to sleep, I saw a Tsukima Onna. A Tsukima Onna? Are you sure you weren't sleeping? Renko asks, confused, to which I answer by shaking my head in denial. I wouldn't put that much weight on it otherwise. The Tsukima Onna is an urban legend. Her name literally means Gap Woman. It is much more recent than the ancient yokai myths. A strange woman who suddenly appears in your room when you are distracted and watches you in silence from a space too narrow for a person to fit. She then will trap you in another dimension that looks exactly like your house, or drag you to hell. It's like one of the ghost stories you can read online. No, it wasn't a dream. I was awake, I'm sure of it. I saw her at my apartment. Renko blinks, then makes a very serious face. I know that look. Every time Renko is worried, she makes those eyes. Mary, are you sure you're okay? I know this sounds strange, but trust me, ice cream is not a panacea for all problems. Her words lack her usual good humor. Again, I deny it, shaking my head. Soon, the memories flash in my mind. the unnatural darkness, the countless eyes, the sickly deformity of the woman being crushed to fit in a confined space. More even than my own death in the dream. Seeing Miss Akimura terrifying me. My blood goes cold just from thinking about it. Then I close my eyes and take a deep breath, preparing to speak. Last night I felt unusually nervous for no reason. Time passed with me being unable to sleep. I was simply rolling on the bed, with the anxiety growing by the second. Why? Why do I feel like this? Like I knew something bad was just about to happen. It feels like when I was a child, afraid that when I fell asleep, a monster would crawl out from under the bed. I close my eyes and I take a deep breath. I repeat to myself how silly all that sounds. You are an adult now, Mary. Stop being afraid. If you have to, look under the bed and realize that there is nothing there. I open my eyes, resolved to do it. And that's when I see it. I quietly exclaim in disbelief as my heart skips a beat. What is that? What is it? What is looking at me? My hands are shaking like I'm freezing. My face turns pale, with my eyes wide open. My whole body is paralyzed. I can't even breathe. It has eyes. How many eyes? I can't count them. They all look at me. The door of the closet has opened just slightly, enough to let me see a bright purple eye staring at me. But it isn't alone. From the darkness, many more eyes appear. Why are they looking at me like that? What do they want from me? What do they want from me? Then, I see an arm coming out of the closet with long, sharp nails. But there is no way someone could hide in it. It's too small. Without even widening the small gap, a woman crawls out of the closet. Her body is flattened like a balloon without air, but I can clearly make it out. It's like watching a drawing projecting into the real world. Her skin is so white it looks like snow. Her hair is very long and covers her face, but I can see her eyes and crooked smile. Behind her is only darkness, from which countless eyes are watching me. But that is impossible. There is hardly any space in there. A shadow this deep could not be produced. Maribel, the woman pronounces between wheezes. Her voice is choppy and deep, like she has trouble breathing. Something inside me breaks when I hear it. I feel the sweat drip down my forehead. My body trembles on the verge of falling apart. My name, a name that does not exist in this country. She is looking for me. There is no other possibility. I bite my lips so hard it bleeds. My heart and lungs turn to stone with anguish. My whole body feels cold. They took away my warmth. I can't think. All I know is that I am afraid. And it is then that I see her move closer. Stay away. Stop. Go away. She crawls sickly towards me, slowly moves with one twisted step after another. The eye-infested darkness only grows bigger. It never stops looking at me. I want to run, but my legs don't react. I want to scream, but I have no breath. I want to scream, but I have no breath. The only thing left for me is to observe, shivering as if I had died of cold, sweating, my heart broken in pieces, until I can't take it anymore and squeeze my eyes closed. Maribel, she whispers into my ear, at the same time that I feel something cold caress my cheeks. I found you. Suddenly, I hear something hit the ground, a familiar sound that makes me open my eyes without thinking. My cell phone fell from the night table beside my bed. I have no idea how, but it just did. I blink, watching the phone on the floor for a moment before looking up. But the only thing I find is the empty air and an indescribable cold. There is nothing, absolutely nothing. There are no eyes, darkness, or a woman in this place. It's just me, completely alone. I remain motionless, perplexed for long seconds, unable to understand what happened, and simply staring at the air in front of me. And then, suddenly, anxiety hits me like a wall. I place one hand on my chest and the other on my stomach, pressing hard as a horrible nausea seizes me, combined with a shortness of breath and an excruciating pain in my chest and head. It's as if a huge iron ball has been placed on my back and is slowly crushing me. I have to talk to Renko, I say, looking for her name in the contact list. However, I stop in my tracks. I stare at her name on the screen for long seconds without doing anything, just letting time go by. Little by little, the anxiety goes away. A quiet sense of normalcy surrounds me soon after. There is a dead silence around me, empty and safe. Finally, I close my eyes and sigh, putting the phone away. It's so silly. My lips murmur, almost inaudible. I remain motionless for unknown seconds, until I am convinced it's better to leave what had happened behind. I'm still weak and drenched in sweat, but it doesn't bother me. This is normal. It is my version of normal. Or rather, this is normal for Maribel Hearn. The last thing I remember is that she said my name. Her voice was choppy and scary. Maribel, She said it better than you, I say, raising my voice, feeling embarrassed shortly after. Hearing it is like nails on a chalkboard for me. Renko looks straight at me with nothing but incredulity in her eyes. Despite being my best friend for years, she is unable to pronounce my name correctly. I know I shouldn't, but it irritates me. Since I moved to Japan, no one has said my name properly. It has been so long that sometimes I'm afraid I'll forget it myself. Did she say it without error? Yes, her pronunciation was perfect. I have no doubts. She said my name. How could she say your name perfectly? Are ghosts bilingual? Or did she follow you all the way from Europe? I'm more interested in how she knows my name. Nobody ever says it, not correctly even. I can't imagine where she heard it. You forget about one person, Mary. Yourself. Maybe she heard you saying it in your sleep one night. The way she would know both your name and the proper pronunciation. Although I admit it isn't a perfect theory, it does explain how she could know it. I blush and scratch my cheek shyly after listening to her. Yes, you may be right. As far as the pronunciation, it's impossible that she followed me from home, because the Tsukima Onna are a unique urban legend of Japan. They only exist here. Kawaii! Oh my gosh, I have a daughter. I did not expect anybody. Very nice to meet you. Konnichiwa. I pronounced that wrong. They only exist here. So does that mean Yukai have more developed vocal skills? I don't think she would have bothered to practice saying it correctly. And as far as I know, yokai aren't admitted to language classes. Renko says, perhaps analyzing it too much. I won't deny that it sounds ridiculous, but it's interesting to me. At least I don't have time to get bored while trying to come up with a theory. I put my index and middle finger on my lips as I think. Supernatural beings? Ghosts? Spirits? Yokai? The very existence goes beyond the ordinary, so it wouldn't be strange if they could know and pronounce any name. Especially if it is part of the myth that originated them. Sounds logical. I'd like to study it further, but I doubt that a voice audition for yokai is going to be very successful. Renko says, while putting her hands behind her head in a relaxed posture. We are not going to do such a thing, I say, pretending to be angry. Renko just laughs and leans in to pat my head nonchalantly. The gesture is enough to make me smile. Her affection is warm. Renko, why do you think she was after me? I don't believe she actually was. Tsukima Onna, just like Yuki Onna, the Snow Woman, are known to obsess with people, usually the owner of the house. It just so happens that you are the owner this time. I look down and think about it for a brief moment. Yes, I think you are right, my lips say, but it's a lie. There's no way it could be that simple. She was specifically looking for me, for Maribel Hearn. It's not a coincidence. After that, there's a brief silence. We continue eating, and then change the conversation topic to more casual things. Before I know it, it's time to go home. I'm about to say goodbye, but then Renko turns to me and takes my hand. She squeezes it gently, which makes me look into her eyes, blushing. Mary, are you sure you want to go back to your apartment? The Tsukima Onna could still be there. and I don't think she's the best roommate. You should stay with me for a few days, until we figure out how to deal with it, she says, staring at me. It takes me a couple seconds to answer. I'm certainly worried, but in the end, I just smile like it's nothing. Don't worry, Renko. It's not like something like this has never happened to me. Please trust me. I'll be fine. I have experience with unwanted tenants of the supernatural variety. I'm smiling, but my words have the smell of a stinking lie. Just yesterday I felt so scared I could barely breathe, and yet here I am now, refusing the help she's offering. Why do I do it? I'm not sure myself, but I don't want this to become a bother. I don't want to be an annoyance. Besides, even if the Sakima owner drags me to hell, I'll find a way out. Renko looks at me for a couple of seconds before smiling, trying to hide her own concern. Yes, you're right. If there is anyone who could escape from her, it's you. But hey, if anything happens, you know I'm only a message away. Yes, although I don't know how helpful you would be. I could give you a precise estimate of how many seconds we have before we are eaten. After saying that, we both laugh. Shortly after, Renko lets go of my hand and we part ways. When I get to my apartment, the first thought that comes to mind is whether I'll see the Sakima owner again. During the morning, I couldn't feel any presence, but even a child knows that ghosts appear at night when our fears are stronger. I start wondering if I made a mistake, but in the end, I exhale and close my eyes. For now, I should just sleep. If she appears again, I'll deal with her then. Just yesterday, I was scared to death, and now I'm thinking it isn't worth worrying. That's just the kind of person I am. In front of your eyes, your dreams will crumble to dust. By your own hand, they will be crushed. Welcome to the Scarlet Mansion. Where am I? Is this another dream? I found a note. It has been many days since our guest went silent. I went upstairs to check on her, but the room was closed. It would be rude to enter uninvited. I told the mistress about it, but she dismissed it with a wave of her hand. The mistress's friend gave me a gift tonight. I looked at her, bewildered. She had never given me anything before. I asked, what was the reason? And she simply said it felt right. Then she quietly returned to her room in the basement. The mansion is very calm lately, but my work doesn't diminish. Sweeping and cleaning, cooking and washing. On the subject of cooking, the mistress is late for breakfast today. Her food will soon get cold if she doesn't come soon. The mistress hid the key to the storehouse. I have to find it soon, or I won't be able to make dinner on time. I understand that she's bored, but it only makes my job more difficult. I already have too much work for her to hinder me. And to make matters worse, someone made a mess in the main hall. I better start cleaning now. budge. It won't budge. Hey look, it's a Silent Hill hole. Yep, won't budge. All these doors are locked. Main hall. It won't budge. Well, where can we go? Not out, that's for sure. Well, see? Now we have the locked doors. Got doors that won't move and doors that are locked. This is not the Scarlet Mansion, this is Silent Hill. It won't budge. Imagine that. What? Huh? There's a note on the door. Who doesn't love the satisfaction that comes with solving a good riddle? It must be pretty boring, doing chores all day, dusting the same old mansion, without time for idle. Allow me some time to play. My right hand is red and yellow. My left hand is red and blue. And my face, painted in all colors. Who am I? So we're looking for red and yellow and red and blue. And we haven't really seen very much yellow or blue in this house yet, so let's see if we missed something. Found it! See? Red and blue, red and yellow, all colors. No, I don't know which one to use it. Oh, it's a dining room key. That must not be the dining room. I think this is... Oh yeah, there was another one that was locked. Another door like that. Yay. Hey, hey, it works. Another note. It's It's time for dinner, and everyone is sitting down. This is my chair, for the mistress only. In front of me sits my younger sister. At the right of her sits the gardener. 2 chairs left of the gardener sits the witch. In front of the witch is the princess. To the opposite side of the princess sits the librarian. To her left sits the maid. The key is in the empty chair. As fun as it would be to go through that riddle and to do it properly, by logic, all we have to do is check every chair. Pro gamer move. There it is. One way that would be cool is like, if you do like try to check every chair, just put like maybe baby trap a couple of them, send you to a bad end. That would be fun. This one's got to be the key to the other door, I think. I can't believe I had a viewer that's so wild, from Japan no less. Finally, I found something to cook for dinner. I had barely started to move when suddenly I hear an unknown voice, followed by my own, groaning in pain. Then I feel a warm liquid run down my back until it spills onto the cold floor. I am stunned. I remain as motionless as a statue. Someone has driven a knife deep into my back. The knife pierced my heart. Somehow, I know it. My face turns pale. In seconds, the expression of disbelief still frozen on it, while I feel life escaping me with every drop of liquid. I can't even hear it. Every drop, hitting the ground, is a soft and delicate sound that announces my death. But it hardly lasts. Shortly after I lose my sense of hearing, abandoning me in complete silence. I can't breathe or move. I can't even see. There is no doubt I have died again. But it is not my end. My conscience observes what happens to my body after it loses its life. My eyes are blind, yet I can see it, as clear as daylight. My blood is collected and poured into a beautiful glass cup, as if it were a fine wine. This is all very familiar to me. Sure, even a child could recognize what kind of monster does it. I'll tell Renko tomorrow. And I'll also have to give her an apology. It wasn't my intention. But again, I let them kill me. After telling her not to worry, I let myself be harmed again. Tonight, I became the main dish for a noble house. My death was as real for me as anything in the waking world. And yet, here I remain, perfectly calm, feeling an innocent curiosity about what will happen next. For dessert, the maid bakes some cookies. They smell simply delicious. I can't help but want to taste them. Without a body or a hand, I steal one of them. I got a Vtuber sub from Japan. I love that. That's kind of fun. I really didn't think I was gonna get any viewers this stream, let alone any subs, so it made me smile a lot. Pretty good. Woo! Okay, yeah, I haven't had any viewers on Facebook. Everyone on Facebook is asleep. I was smoking and a drink. This game is short enough I may do it all in one sitting. I don't know yet. Depends on how tired I get. This music is so relaxing. I close my eyes and sip hot tea with perfect elegance, holding the cup with both hands while sitting at the table inside the clubroom. In front of me is Renko, drinking tea as well. On the table is the kettle, from which steam escapes, along with cookies of different flavors. Without a doubt, it's a typical occult club meeting. The club is a room in the Kyoto University building, overflowing with things that most would call garbage, such as blurry photos of ghosts, magazines with ridiculous theories for unexplained phenomena, horror novels and folklore books, old newspapers and posters of magicians or psychics, the vast majority of which are an obvious sham. There are also objects of occultism and witchcraft alike. A Ouija board, an anatomical skeleton model. I know it's fake, because it was the first thing I asked. A pair of voodoo dolls that clearly don't work. A very old radio, and a camera that can supposedly pick up ghosts. And a box with a crystal ball inside. Finally, there is an old computer that miraculously still works. I still can't believe it, but we have no use for it anyway, so it's just one more ornament. Shortly after I joined the club, Renko told me that the founder was her grandmother, Usami. She was a huge fan of the paranormal, and originally, the club focused on necromancy, finding a way to talk to the dead and observing ghosts, before expanding to everything from urban legends to ancient yokai. That's why the skeleton is here. I guess she failed at bringing it back to life. Renko even showed me a photo of her grandmother when she was young. I will never say it, but I am happy that I got to live with one of the prettiest of Usamis. Her grandmother was the literal definition of a nerd, even with the glasses, whereas Renko was a pretty cool nerd. The only reason why a prestigious university like the one Kyoto allows the club to exist. In Kyoto allows the club to exist is because in addition to using the excuse that it's simply a hobby, we deliver an overview of our studies every 6 months, written from a scientific point of view. How urban legends and myths are born, the effect they have on our society, and how they evolve or even disappear with time. All of that using a scientific methodology. It's a social study. At least, we convinced the professor that it is. This morning I woke up in bed like every other day. No evidence of my death exists. No wound or scar. Not even the slightest unpleasant feeling. If it weren't for the vivid memories, I myself would never have believed it happened. When classes were over, I went to the club. Renko, as is typical of her, was a few minutes late, giving me a friendly smile as soon as she appeared. We started by preparing tea and talking about more common topics. But soon enough, I gave Renko the news. So, you had another dream, Mary? She asked curiously, while watching me drink a sip of tea. I placed the cup on the table and nodded. Yes, I did, is my simple answer. Renko looks at me in silence for a couple of seconds, curious. Well, what happened? If you don't tell me, there's no way I'm going to guess. I smile at her proudly, tilting my head, and begin to describe my dream. I tell her about the Rev's European mansion, the elegant rooms and decorations, the kitchen full of food, and lastly, how my blood was served, ready for an unseen vampire to drink it. As I speak, I put the chocolate cookie I stole on the table. I had to resist the urge to eat it. It looks delicious. When I woke up this morning, I discovered the cookie in my hands. It may be hard to believe it came from a mansion within my dreams, but here it is. I watched Renko carefully examine the cookie, as if it were an object incomprehensible to the human mind. I cover my lips with one hand to hide my smile. It is undoubtedly adorable. It doesn't seem like there's anything strange about it. Are you sure humans can eat it? Yes, actually, that's what I plan to do when you're done with it. Renko makes a very serious face, and breaks the cookie in half, and eats one right in front of my eyes. I don't know whether to say I'm angry, or that I expected it, but I wanted to eat it all by myself. Without thinking, I snatched the other half from her and immediately put it in my mouth. Sorry, it's part of my research. And with this, I was able to conclude one thing. The vampire's cook makes some excellent cookies. She says, and then nods pleased. We then look into each other's eyes for a couple seconds before laughing. Renko, there is another thing I wanted to tell you. Is it about the Tsukima owner? Did you see her again? I quietly shake my head in denial. I bite my lip for a moment. The anxiety grows heavy in my heart. This is a bad idea. I know I shouldn't do it. And yet, I don't want to stop. Why? I guess I'm just tired of being alone. I'm tired of being unable to share this part of me. Sometimes, I feel like I could have the most wonderful experience of all, and no one would care. They wouldn't even know. If no one else knows it, if no one else cares, does it even exist? Is my death really that small and easy to ignore? Does that mean my life is the same? With that in mind, I calmly put a shiny object on the table. It's a pure silver knife, something I could never afford with my student income. Renko blinks with curiosity while staring at it. She can't find anything unusual about the knife, but I can tell she knows there is a deeper meaning to it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even bothered to hide it. A silver knife. I guess it belonged to that maid you mentioned before. Yes, that's right. So, you stole it from her? I shake my head. Not quite. She stabbed me with it. When I woke up the next morning, it was in my hands, along with the cookie. Renko is shaken by my words. She looks pale and confused. Both things incredibly rare and out of character for her. You mean you died in your dream, Mary? Yes, but not just in this dream. Last night, I died too. When I said I got away from the yokai, I was lying. She caught me and ate me. Renko instantly slams the table and rises to stand, unable to believe it. Mary, were you murdered? And the first thing that occurred to you is that you wanted to eat ice cream? She says, looking down into my eyes. She sounds angry. Mm-hmm. Is there something wrong with that? Also, as you can see, it's not like I really died. When you were attacked in Touhou, you ended up in the hospital. I put my cup down as soon as she says it. I've suddenly lost my appetite. Of course, I remember. I was about to say more, but I stopped. That doesn't matter anymore. It's the past. It was different that time, Renko. That was not a dream, but a travel. Trust me. If I were lying, I wouldn't have been able to attend classes today. My voice sounds colder than usual. I look down and continue drinking. An awkward silence fills the room for what feels like an eternity. I knew it. It was a mistake. So stupid. Renko finally sits down and relaxes her posture. She sighs, rubs her forehead, and fixes her hat. Seems she isn't angry anymore. Okay, I get it. You aren't injured. But still, didn't it hurt? Are you okay? Why are you telling me this just now? Does it mean you've died in your dream before? As she speaks, she slowly moves her hand under mine in an intentional gesture. My heart skips a beat when I feel her soft touch. That was too many questions. I'm okay. I really am. It may be scary, but it doesn't really hurt. No more than bumping your toe against the door. Being at Yokai's dinner doesn't exactly sound like a fun-filled experience. It'd be a hard sell on a theme park. I too have dreamed that I died a few times. Have a traffic accident, or I fall into the abyss. Once I was even lost in space, floating, without oxygen. I was scared at the moment, but of course, it was just a dream. But I know that your dreams are different. Lucid dreaming is the closest thing to what you experience, and it's still nowhere close. She gently squeezes my hand. She's worried about me. Renko was clearly thinking about saying more, but I interrupt her first. I'm fine, Renko. Really. I'm not hurt or anxious. I'm alive. There isn't a ghost in front of you, even if you might want it that way. It was like the experience with the Tsukima owner. I knew it might cause trouble for me, but I wanted to share it with someone, even if it isn't an easy thing to talk about. I know I can trust you. I respond, offering her a shy smile. Dying is supposed to be among the most horrible things to experience. And here I am, saying it wasn't too bad. I must have a twisted mind to say that while smiling so warmly. Renko looks me in the eyes once more before withdrawing her hand and leaning her back into the chair. I feel a great relief when she does. It means that things are back to normal. Well, I'm glad. I can't afford to lose the vice president of the club. But if you were a guest, it would be a great opportunity to learn some things. It's disappointing, isn't it? After saying that, she smiles and raises her cup, taking a sip of tea. So, back to the knife. It's the same knife the maid attacked you with, isn't it? That's right. And in and of itself, it isn't anything supernatural. It's just a simple and elegant kitchen utensil. Although, I must admit it's quite sharp. How would a vampire's maid have silver knives? Is it the show wealth? It could be it. But I think there's another answer. Silver is frequently used to fight monsters in folklore. The most common example is against werewolves. Perhaps the maid protects the vampire against any other monsters that try to invade her mansion. After saying that, I take a sip of tea. Renko closes her eyes and thinks about it for a moment, crossing her arms under her chest. Does that mean she's a maid, a cook, and also a guard? It must be a pretty hard job. I at least hope the poor girl gets paid enough. Considering how vampires are in legends, I doubt she even gets paid at all. I don't know why, but after saying that, I feel slightly sad. That's true. And I guess you're right. It's hard to live in such a big house and not get unwanted visitors sometimes. That maid was the one you saw only one you saw in the dream. You didn't get to see the vampire, right? Yes, but I was only able to explore a small part of the mansion. I suppose there could be even other yokai behind the closed doors. There are many kinds of food in the storehouse. Even garlic, which vampires are supposed to hate, and medicinal herbs they don't need. After saying that, I close my eyes and lift the cup to continue drinking. Besides the vampire, a witch could live in the mansion. There's no other explanation for the herbs. An immortal vampire would have no use for them. I'm curious about the knives, too. I wonder if they really are only for defending her master, or if she's ever thought of using them against him. It's all very mysterious. I'd like to have another opportunity to explore it more thoroughly, but I'm unable to control my dreams. They take me to unknown and magical places, without explanation, and without any concern for my desires. I'm lost in my thoughts. When I finally open my eyes, I realize that Renko is stroking my head. I tremble, flushing with embarrassment. Oh, Renko! I exclaim in surprise. Anticipating what I was going to say, she lifts the cup and smiles. I asked you if you wanted more tea, but you weren't listening. Mary, don't go having an adventure in another world right in front of me without inviting me. You know I wouldn't do that. It's the only thing I can think of to say. I bring the cups to my lips so I don't have to speak. But there's a problem with that. Like Renko said, my cup is empty. I end up sipping air. I'm so dumb. I look down shyly, unable to meet her eyes. I've been holding an empty cup in my hands for who knows how long, probably even drinking from it without realizing. Renko chuckles joyfully, making my heart shrink in embarrassment. I'm blushing so deeply that somebody could mistake me for having a fever. Can I serve you more? Yes, please, I say, unable to look up. Renko pours me some tea, then fills her own cup. She drinks, leaning back while she thinks, and then fixes her eyes on me. Mary, before we continue, I wanted to ask you, did you see the Sukima owner again? No, I haven't seen her. Renko thinks and fixes her hat. She looks pretty serious now. I did some research on the Sukima owner, but couldn't find anything you don't already know. She watches you from very small gaps, and some people say she can drag you to hell, or keep you prisoner in your own house, or an alternate dimension that just looks like your house. I know. It's not very nice. Renko shakes her head in denial. Not at all. Not the first place you'd think of going on vacation. After saying that, the expression on her face turned serious. Also, there's a lesser-known second generation of legends. People started to say that you can even see them outside your home, like on the streets at night, looking like a mysterious woman. I'm concerned that her powers and your own ability to travel to dream worlds could produce a dangerous reaction. Like when you mix water and potassium. Water is safe on its own, but together they create an explosion. After saying that, she looks at me with clear concern in her eyes. I hold my breath for a moment, but soon my body relaxes. The fear inside me doesn't last more than an instant. Don't worry, Renko. Like I said before, even if she takes me to hell, I'll find a way back here. I finish with a smile that Renko doesn't seem to appreciate. I have a long history with these beings. Nothing will happen. And even if it does happen, when the sun rises again, life will return to normal. Renko leans back and drinks from her cup, staying silent for a moment and gazing thoughtfully at the ceiling. Gazing, not grazing. It's not that kind of Touhou game. Then she turns to me, looking into my eyes. Anyway, Mary, it sounds like a very bad habit to die so often. It would be better to try to avoid it. I tipped my head and scratched my cheek with my index finger while she slept shyly. I can understand why she's saying that. A normal person would be really scared. And also, Renko worries about my pain. She is a good friend. But it isn't necessary. I'm fine, really. My body remains in bed when I dream. It's just an illusion. I feel pain, but soon it disappears and becomes a distant memory. Besides, as I said before, if I was really in agony, I wouldn't even be able to attend classes. Yes, I guess so. I doubt you like classes so much that you'd attend even after being digested by a monster. That would raise a lot of questions. She responds with a joke, but doesn't sound entirely convinced. I think it's impossible for a human being to think that dying isn't a big deal. Unexpectedly, I swear. Does that mean I'm not human? At least, No normal one. Renko, I'm used to monsters. And yokai. I don't mean to say that I like to die, but it's like having frequent nightmares. There comes a time when they don't bother you as much, and you can even take advantage of sharing the stories. Just talking about them with you makes me feel so much better. Renko rubs her forehead, pensive, and then adjusts her hat. I suppose you're fine with nightmares. But if you ever had a romantic dream, I wonder if you could tell me that one just as calmly. What? It's not the same. I say it out loud, without even thinking about it, and immediately cover my mouth with both hands. I look down and gulp, feeling my heart race. Did she hit a weak point? I've fallen into a trap. Renko flashes a mischievous grin, then points her fingers at me, pretending that her hand is a gun. Bang! Renko, I say, pretending to be furious. I watch her goofy smile for long seconds, until she suddenly bursts into laughter. I'm right behind her. Renko tenderly strokes my head, making all the anger and tension disappear. We spend the rest of our session talking about unimportant subjects until it gets dark. It's good to put seriousness aside and talk nonsense too. Laughing and having a good time. That's what I need the most after a nightmare. In the end, the night became another decoration for the clubroom. The day has been another good day for the occult club. See you later, Mary. If anything happens, send me a message. Renko says when we part ways at the train station. Yes, but I'll be fine. See you later. I reply, in a friendly manner, waving to her. She raises her head for a wave and walks away. It's time to go home. Along the way, the expression on my face becomes more serious. I can't help but to think about everything that's going on in my life. Lost in my thoughts, I ignore what's happening around me, as if I'm disconnected from the world. People move in and out of the train without any importance. Will I dream tonight too? There's only one way to find out. In bed, wrapped in sheets, I close my eyes. It's easy for me to fall asleep. I guess it's because I'm eager to know what will happen next. You can pray to any god. No one will listen to you. This cold and uncaring world does not know you, nor does it want to. Time for another break. No viewers since the one. Fun. Where's my drink? It's a real question of, do I keep going? It's been an hour and a half. Streams usually see them go for about an hour to 3 hours. I wonder if I can beat this game within the next hour and a half. Well, beat the demo portion of it, anyway. I can do things. I can do this. No, let's see. Peace. I was doing that. Peace. I love it. I will play until I'm able to save, and then I will do another one at some point after 12 tonight. Where am I? This place is so cold. It's weird. I've never dreamed 3 nights in a row. Oh look, I can save right here. so let me. There we go. Yeah. Great. Clap. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Clap for a successful debut. I'm excited to continue this journey tomorrow. I'll let the song play you out.